Hello and welcome back to the LineStar MLB DFS breakdown for May 23rd, Tuesday. Before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube page as it helps us a ton. It allows us to keep giving you guys content for free. And if you're not already, you should probably join us in LineStar. It's only $29.99, gets you all of the props, all of the DFS for free. Props AI has been killing it for us. The DFS, the optimizer helps as well, and we will jump into it. Now, let's get ready for today. So, 10 games on the docket tonight. 4:05 start, 7:05 Eastern. There are a few games earlier if you wanted to play the early slate, but we are going over the main here. And as always, we'll start at the pitcher ownership. Spencer Strider coming in at the highest owned, 12.3K. His price is getting up there, but he just dominates. He's in a tough spot today versus the Dodgers, but he is one of the best pitchers in baseball, if not the best, and he definitely has the most upside with a 42% K rate over his last five. The Dodgers, however, are good with limiting strikeouts. They're also a good offense, but with that, we still have a combined K rate of 30. His StatCast data is a little iffy. 40% fly balls, 33% hard contact. We know he has let some home runs go lately. This is a decent spot for him to let one or two go, but he is extremely good. 1.9, 8 FIP over his last 20, 2.06 over his last 5. I think he's in a good spot. He's always in a good spot. He could always have a great game. It is the Dodgers, though, and this is pretty high ownership. So just take that into consideration here. Next, we got Garrett Cole, also in a tough spot. This Baltimore offense is good, and Garrett Cole hasn't been totally locked in lately. 3.93 FIP over his last 5 versus 3.6 over his last 20. The other thing is recently his K rate's a little bit down, 24.4% versus almost 30% over his last 20. So he has had some good offenses he's gone against in his last 5, though. Texas, Guardians, Rays twice, and then the Blue Jays. So very good offenses he's had to face. And with that, he just hasn't been quite as good. Hasn't had the upside that we're used to. Unfortunately, he has another good offense today. 21% K rate versus righties for Baltimore. They have a low 300 WOBA versus righties, but a decent ISO here. There's a good hitting team. Not the best spot ever, but not terrible. 22% combined K rate. The one thing we'll bring up here is in 95 plate attempts, they are hitting 256 off of Cole with a 22% K rate. So fairly low K rate. That K rate is similar to the combined K rate we're seeing here. So I'd probably take that as word of what to expect tonight. Sonny Gray. This guy has been unreal. Still has not allowed a home run on the slate. One thing is he only won 84 pitches last start, which is a little concerning. But versus the Dodgers. So tonight versus the Giants, of these three high-priced pitchers, no doubt Gray has the best matchup. He's also 2K less than the other guys. 24.5% K rate versus righties for the Giants. 27.7% combined K rate. So we got a really high upside here. Similar upside to Strider, but a little bit cheaper. StatCast data looks great. 1.79 FIP over his last 5 starts. He's been really good. 2.7 FIP over his last 20. This is a pitcher that has been dialed in, and he's pitching great. Also at a nice pitcher-friendly park, Target Field. So I don't mind Gray. It is also a nice way to get off of some of that ownership And then we also got Yu Darvish in a good matchup versus the Nationals. Nationals don't walk a ton. Low ISO, low WOBA, and they're hitting 240 off Darvish in 25 at bats and 214 in the last 29 at bats. So Darvish in a good spot, 23.5% combined K rate, a low Vegas run total here. And this National offense just isn't that good. The one thing is they just don't strike out a ton. So his upside might be a little capped, but Darvish should limit runs and be able to work deep into the game. And under him, we got Cobb at 16%, Luis Medina at 12.2%. I don't love that versus that Seattle offense, which is good. And if you do want to pay up for a lower owned guy, I think Senega is in an interesting spot. He is starting to trend up again. We know he has upside in the strikeout department, and the Cubs strike out at almost 25%. Senega, 29% K rate. So it's interesting. He just needs to limit walks. He keeps getting himself in trouble by allowing base runners. 5.3 walks per 9 over the last 5 starts. You just can't be a good pitcher in Major League and allow that many people on base. But solid K rate, combined K rate of 27.6%. Senega is going unowned. I understand if you want to go there. And then we got Erod. Erod has been absolutely great lately, 8,800. We have a decent projection for him. It's versus the Royals, so a decent matchup. Royals do hit lefties much better than they hit righties, though. So take that for what it's worth. But Erod's been great, 2.6 FIP over the last 5. That is down from 4 over the last 20. His stat data looks great. The one thing is he just doesn't have huge strikeout upside. So this is a situation that you're going to want Strider and Cole to fail if you're going to Erod. Smiley, we got Bobby Miller, France. Wanted to talk about Yuri Perez. Super high-end prospect. The guy has been great. The strikeout stuff is there. Only 7,100 for a guy that has a 30% K rate, 33% K rate, but the game is in Colorado. So we talked about Eduardo Cabrera a little bit yesterday. He ended up having, I think, 6 strikeouts, but he let some runs up. Perez is probably a little bit better of a pitcher than Cabrera, allowing only 3 runs total in his 2 starts, 6 Ks and 7 Ks. I think there is some upside here against this Colorado team that strikes out 25% versus righties. So combined K rate of 28%. Now, the weather's nice in Colorado. The winds are blowing out, so it is very good hitting weather, but that only matters if they can hit him. I can see you taking some chances at a totally unowned Yuri Perez versus the Rockies. Do I love the spot? No. There's a reason why he's, so low owned. But if I wanted a low owned pitcher that is cheap, he's probably the one I'm going to today. Now let's jump over to FanDuel. Check out how we're doing here. Strider's coming in highest owned, 40%. Then Cole, Sonny Gray at 18%. As we talked about in DraftKings, of those 3, Gray by far has the best matchup, and he's been pitching really good. So don't be scared to fade those 2 higher pitchers if you want to. Darvish, Senega's low owned, and I don't know if I'd go down to Perez on FanDuel. I don't think you have to. You don't have to get that different because it's only 1 pitcher. Now, let's go to some stacks. All right, so it is a Colorado slate. So Miami is likely going to be the highest owned here, and I think they might be pretty owned. All right. 100% on a 10-game slate, or over 100% on a 10-game slate, is decent ownership here. Now, they're in a good spot. Gomber's not a great pitcher. The bullpen behind him isn't great. Totally understand why people are going here. We got a high total, so it makes sense that people are going to Miami. Just watch, though, because it is baseball. Literally anything can happen from one game to the next. And like yesterday, fading Miami was the way to go. It could happen again today. Houston Astros coming in at the highest projected. I love this spot for the Astros. I didn't play them yesterday. I wish I did. But I think they're in an even better spot today. I did pick Yordan Alvarez as my home run call today. Colin Ray hasn't been good. 5.47 FIP over his last 20. 6.2 over his last 5. The bullpen isn't great. I think the Astros are in a really good spot. Altuve is back in this lineup, so that's a huge plus. We got Red Sox popping up here. I think they're in a decent spot. Griffin Canyon on the bump. Mid-5s FIP. Totally can take advantage of that. Obviously, we got Miami popping up here as well. And now let's go to some value stacks. If you want to pay up for some of these pitchers, you're going to need some cheap guys. You could absolutely go to Milwaukee. You can also do a pretty cheap stack of the Astros if you want to. Both of which are projecting out pretty good with a 2.9x value, which is really solid. But JP France, 6.3 FIP over his first couple starts. I think he's only had 3 starts so far, but he just hasn't been that good. So Milwaukee makes some sense. Obviously, we talked about Colin Ray. It makes some sense. Angels are popping up against Bello. Going back to the pitching, Bello is another guy that I think is very interesting, and I think he's still way too cheap. He's been having 5+ Ks for, I think, 4 or 5 starts in a row. He is interesting. I wished I talked about him earlier in the pitcher portion, but he's going pretty much unowned as well. So make a note of that as well. And now let's go to the ceiling spots. So Dodgers are coming in versus Strider. That's real tough for me to do. Strider's an extremely good pitcher. He just doesn't get crushed. So, and that's what you're going to need on 10-game slate. You're going to need 7, 8+ runs out of your 5-man stack. And I don't know if it happens from the Dodgers. On the other side, the Braves are coming in. I like the Braves as a stack big time. We got Bobby Miller on the bump today. This is a guy that has a mid-5s ERA in the minor leagues, getting called up to start because the Dodgers have a lot of pitching injuries right now. So I think the Braves are a very interesting stack that is going pretty much unowned. They have a high ceiling. Then you got the Yankees. Yankees are in a good spot. Bradish can give up home runs. He's been a decent pitcher so far, but he can get bombed. He can get shelled, and Yankees definitely can do that to teams. Cubs are coming here. Senega is there. Like I talked about Senega, he's letting a lot of guys on base. When you're letting a lot of guys on base, couple timely hits, and you can get crushed. So the Cubs are interesting. Senega is one of those higher volatile pitchers here. So, and the one other thing I wanted to bring up that isn't popping up was we went to the Mariners yesterday. We can go back today. Medina he's a highly touted prospect. Hasn't been great so far in the majors. But behind him is a very poor bullpen, so you can pick on Oakland once again if you would like. And that'll do it for us today. I appreciate you guys. Good luck in all of your fantasy games. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join us in the LineStar community. You guys have a great day. Good luck. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.